This is a brief overview of Chapter 2 of our textbook, Educators Online. The chapter is a long one. If I had to give advice to the author, I would say she could have chopped it up into two or three chunks and separate chapters. But anyways, so I thought I'll just give you an overview. I read it this morning, and maybe my overview would help. So she really emphasizes the social aspect of the new literacies and the importance of establishing an online identity that's professional, respectful, and one that you want out there on the web. So when you create IDs in various networks, such as Diigo, which we did last week, this week I'm going to ask you to establish a Twitter account if you haven't already done that. And what do you want your professional image to be? And so she emphasizes what you should think about when doing that. Um, Much of the chapter, at least the first half, is about Twitter. And I'll just be frank, I don't really use Twitter. I opened up an account a number of years ago, and I didn't see the usefulness of it. But I think we'll try it this week, and you'll see one of the assignments is I'd like you to tweet me once, and I give you my hashtag for you to do that. And one of the affordances, which she argues, or the benefits of using the new literacies, is the social aspect of the new literacies. So you could tweet other professionals about books and articles you have read, or conferences you have attended, podcasts, and so on, and share it with a large network, large or small network. And I think that's what she's arguing that we should be using Twitter for. One of the things she says in the chapter is that for many years, teaching was a very isolating activity. You arrived in your school, you had your lessons to teach, and you're with children all day, and you rarely had the opportunity to interact with other professionals. So the new literacies allows you to do that. One of the things she talks about is tweets as a social currency. It's a little bit like Facebook. I'm not sure how much weight I give to this, but it is interesting. When you establish a Twitter account, you'll get followers. So it depends upon how many followers you have. If you have one follower, so that's you have one person who's interested in what you're tweeting, as opposed to perhaps 500, 1,000, 10,000. And that's the social currency she talks about, that you have a large number of people following you. This is a website that I didn't have time to get to today, but it's mentioned right after her discussion of Twitter. It's called Plurk. It looks a little bit like Pinterest and also like, I think a little bit like Poplet. And anyhow, you might be interested in reading about it and starting a Plurk account. Later in the semester, if we have time and if it fits, we might try it. So it's the personal learning network, and I believe you sort of like a poster board, but it has a timeline, and you could post items that you are reading about or thoughts that you have, and other people can comment. She does talk about push versus pull technology, and the key concept there is that with the new literacies, you push out your tweets, your Diigo postings, and so on to the people of your group, as opposed to waiting to people to open it up and pull it into their house. It goes out automatically, so that's a distinction. It's one of the new literacies. It's one of their advantages or affordances. She also talks about micro blogging and microblogging. Twitter is a great example of that. I think you get 140 word characters. You're doing a full blog, but people are finding microblogging informative. And I think here she talks about the '08 Obama campaign, how he announced that Joe Biden would be his presidential pick. On the bottom of the page, she discusses Ning, and she talks about the Jim Burke's English Teacher's Companion as an interesting Ning. I haven't used it. When I saw that Ning is now a paid site, I prefer not using paid sites unless I'm really sure that it's something I'm going to use. So I'm not going to emphasize that. Nings look like blog sites to me. Now, then she talks about Diigo, and we did Diigo last week, and certainly social. And if you saw, every time someone posted to Diigo, you received an email. It might have gone into your spam folder, but we have a nice group going there, and I want you to do a social bookmarking site, and I hope you found that beneficial. She spends a lot of time on Facebook. Facebook is a site I personally don't use. I have an account. I know some people love it. She mentions, and I've been reading more recently, that the confidentiality aspect of Facebook has been broken a number of times. So whatever you post on Facebook, you have to be really careful as a teacher. And if you're not an employed teacher right now, be extra careful, because employers now look at Facebook pages and everything. And again, going back to my initial comments about whatever you post on the web socially, you want to make sure that's the professional image that you want to convey. And then Skyping, I think in 2 more weeks, or next week, we'll be Skyping, and I'm sure most of you have done that. It's a real easy way to communicate with people, and costs nothing or only pennies. And I think we Skyped twice this semester, and I found it rewarding in the past. So that's it. That's my overview, and I hope you find that helpful. There's a short quiz on the chapter, and I don't think you'll find that too difficult.